Hello, everybody, and we are back doing another therapy sessions. Therapy session? We're doing another therapy sessions. We've only ever done one of these before. It was kind of a test of something, and we're doing another one now because me and my good friend here, James. Say hi, James.
Hello.
We have just spent the past 4 days gaming, recording, editing, and sweating our asses off in a small room, live streaming, or watching live streams even, of the E3 press conferences.
Yeah, we couldn't exactly be in LA, and to be honest, neither of us want to because it would have been a lot more hot and sweaty.
Also very expensive.
Well, yeah, there was that. But yes, we've been watching E3, and we've been trying. We keep up with video games quite significantly.
I don't.
Okay, Brian doesn't, but I do. I like to keep up with like what's coming out, what big controversial bullshit has a big old company EA done this time. And so it was interesting to see what new things were here at EA. And Brian, I'll let you begin.
Yeah, so basically I've written down some notes here just so I don't forget to say anything. So if it sounds like I'm reading off notes, it's because I am. But pretty much, let's just run through this the way it went. So first up was EA, right?
Mm.
And the first thing I've got here that I want to talk about, I'm not going to talk about everything for, in the interest of time. So let's just talk about the things that I want to talk about, or what we want to talk about even.
Yeah.
I've got Battlefield 5, I believe this one's called.
Yes. Yeah,
right?
it's so strange that they went from Battlefield 3, 4, Battlefield 1, and now to 5, and yet it's set in World War 2. It's like...
Yeah. It's really, really annoying. But literally the only thing they really said at EA for the Battlefield was that there is a storyline. Like, it's got a single player. They didn't really go into detail about what it was, if I remember correctly. I remember at one point in some other conference somewhere, they said it's something to do with like a resistance soldier.
Yeah, I think
or something.
At Microsoft. It was at Microsoft they showed off a bit of the single player, although they didn't class it as single player. They classed it as the war story.
Yeah,
I think.
And they really just they focused mostly on multiplayer.
Well, yeah, that's kind of an expected thing. Like, Battlefield has become more multiplayer focused, like, since the third. Because really, did anyone give a shit about the third for games like actual
story-wise?
No, they didn't.
It was tacked on. It was an added extra.
Yeah, and so it was like there was some interesting looking stuff. I like that Destruction has returned. Like,
yes, I've got written here that they've got improved destruction.
Yes, the improved destruction looked pretty awesome. The tank rolling through the two buildings. Also, during when they were showing that, they showed a guy climbing in through a second-story window.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was just like, that guy was diving through a window in the second story. And then James was just like, yeah, they can like repel and stuff.
I presume they'd be able to repel, because there's no way you're Spider-Maning up a fucking wall.
Oh, what about boosting? Team boosting?
Maybe that's the thing. Like you boost another player up.
But the big thing that they pointed out for the new in multiplayer is the new game mode, which is essentially their battle royale mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't give much details about it. They just said Royale is coming.
Royale is coming, and it's coming. They're going to talk more about it later this year, and that was it.
Yeah,
they never. Went
that's right. They said they're
going
to talk about it at some other con or something.
Yeah,
Gamescom.
It might either be Gamescom or it might be their DICE thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, but moving on from Battlefield, I think if I remember correctly, it was directly after Battlefield. It cut away to the crowd, and this has to be the single most awkward game announcement I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. When the woman was in the crowd and she was like, I hear you're working on a game at, what's it called? Respawn Entertainment or whatever. They're like, I hear you're working on a game. Is it a Star Wars game? And the guy's like, yes, it's Jedi Fallen Order. And then she started just like probing him for like information and just didn't say anything. Couldn't say anything.
He was just like, it is very action packed, and that was it. And it was just like, what are we going to be able to do? action stuff.
Yeah, and like the only information we got was the time frame in which it's set between episode 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And like that was it. And like
Nothing else.
It was just so weird.
It was
like so awkward. Like if you're gonna announce like the next big Star Wars game, you expect it to be on the stage and have this if it's just
a
like
guy
announcing
sitting
it
in the bloody crowd just being like, "Oh, I'm the head developer at this company. I'm like the CEO or something." Whoever he was, I've forgotten who it was. I've forgotten the.
It was a guy from Respawn Entertainment. The guys who came from Infinity Ward.
Yeah, the guys, the same guys that did Titanfall. That was their baby. I've got a few things written down here as well now because I'm not a big Star Wars thing, so that for me, like they then kind of segued from that into Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it was
I've got nothing written for Battlefront 2 because as far as I'm concerned, the last Battlefront game was Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the
2005.
PS2 era. The classic.
Yeah.
It's not the classic; it's the only version, and I refuse to listen to anything else. So that part is black in my mind. I don't remember anything.
But yeah, so moving on from that, this is something more that Brian is actually interested in because for me, I'm not a big sports fan, but Madden is coming to PC. That was
I
interesting.
heard them say.
Yeah,
I heard them. I've not looked up anything to do with it, but the way they phrased it, or at least the way
Madden
I heard it,
coming to Origin, and it's like Origin is on PC. Like that is there
on PC. And I'm not a huge American football fan. I couldn't tell you everything. I don't follow it like religiously or anything, but I fucking love the Madden games. They're so much fun. So I like really look. I've like been wanting to get a Madden game ever since I kind of like ditched console and came to PC, but there isn't any, or at least none that I can find. So
probably none that are
really
good
looking
either.
forward to that. The next thing I've got written down, because after that it was just all the EA Sports.
Oh yeah,
I just couldn't give a fuck unless
EA
inside
Sports.
EA Sports,
it's in the game.
Unless in their EA Sports conference section they had something to talk about Skate 4. I don't give a fuck.
No,
right?
Yeah, sadly they didn't.
Anything other than that, could not care less. So the next thing I've got written down is Anthem.
Yep. I know you'd have that written down because I have that.
Yep.
My only response to Anthem, and yet again, it's you don't think this is right, but I genuinely, to me, it's like it's EA's kind of take on Destiny. That's all it looks like for me.
It very well could be, right? I don't personally see it because I haven't really paid attention to Destiny at all. I don't really care. But all I've got written down here is I want to be future space other timeline Iron Man. Yes, please take my money. That's all I've got written down here because it's like Iron Man with like missile launchers and can fly and dive and blow shit up and can control not control weather, but it's like the magic one and all that shit. It just looks like space Iron Man, and I want it now.
Yeah.
Is that you just go yeah?
Yeah, like, to me it's just it doesn't look, and it's like it looks pretty, but after the abysmal kind of fail that was what was it, Mass Effect Andromeda, like it's just, let's hope it doesn't turn out like that, shall we?
Never played any of the Mass Effect games, so
the Andromeda game was so buggy that it was just like,
I heard about it, but I've never played any of them, so I've got nothing to go on there. You know, yeah, that kind of ends it for EA.
It does.
And then after that, we went straight in. No, actually, that was the only thing on that day, wasn't it?
So that's when we actually did a lot of our recording.
It was a slow start. It was a slow start for E3. And then we did loads of recording and lots of drinking. Well, at least I did lots of drinking. And then we went into Microsoft the next day.
Yes.
And
they started off their thing with Halo Infinite, which we didn't really get much about, but like possibly multiplayer. Like like something like.
Well, it's obviously going to be multiplayer.
Well, yes, it's obvious, but I don't know if like. Okay, like so. A little bit of like afterwards, after watching the Microsoft thing, someone was on like the YouTube live thing talking about it, and he was like, "It's gonna have the most Master Chief ever," and it's like, what does that even mean? Like, I remember hearing that, and I was just like, what does that mean?
Like, how can it? Like, yeah, I don't get it. I have no idea what that does. Yeah, it's just confusing. It's such a confusing statement to throw out there, being like, "This is the most Master Chiefy Halo ever," and then you've literally got like Halo 1, where you're nothing but Master Chief.
Yeah, and 3.
You know, well, no, in 3 you can play as Arbiter.
Is that 3?
Yeah, it's 2. I think it's 2 where you jump between the two and like the stories cross and stuff like that. But it's like 3. Like, yeah, you play as Master Chief, but like the whole story is like co-op, and you like play. The second player plays as Arbiter. Arbiter.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge Halo fan. I love the first one, and that was about it.
Then, like, they announced Gears 5, but not
again
before...
another series I've never played. I've got them.
I liked the first one, but before they announced Gears 5, they announced Gears Pop and Gears Mobile, and it's like, that's not a good way of doing it.
Yeah, that should have been like an afterthought. Like, oh, here's the next Gears, and also this, not this, and also Gears 5.
Yeah, it's like Gears 5. Here's the awesome fucking everyone's looking forward to this, and then at the end of that little gameplay / trailer bit, it was just like a pop figure just goes, and it's like, there, we're also doing that, because I despise pop figures. They're not.
I don't mind them, but it should have been the other way around. Like,
yeah, but it wasn't.
Drop the big bomb, and then here's all the extra super cool, cutey things that you can get as well. You don't announce the collectible and then the game, you know? Even though it's not a collectible, it's another game.
Yeah.
Like, Gears Pop is like, it's a mobile game or something? They've got
That's the mobile game, but then there's also an XCOM style Gears game that, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how it looked, like how I feel about it. Oh yeah, one thing we did forget to talk about at least I kind of like, I liked it. It was interesting, but at the same time I was just like, why? And this is back from like to EA momentarily. The Command and Conquer MOBA. It was like, they made such a big fuss about it. They're like, oh, look at what we've got. It's like, why not just, like, that just looks crap. Why not actually, like, not crap, but it's like, it looks interesting, but why not just make a proper Command and Conquer game?
I don't know, dude. I've never really played the Command and Conquer game, so I kind of just like brushed over that in my notes.
Yeah, I figured.
For Microsoft, the first thing I've got written down here is Dying Light 2.
Yes.
Because I did not, like I said, I don't really follow gaming news and rumors and blah blah blah. I like to be surprised when things are coming out, and I've never completed Dying Light 1. I have it.
Yeah. It's a fun game.
I've played like a lot of it, but we've never completed it.
We got to the old city and then just ended up stopping playing for a while.
Moved on to like another game or something. But it was really enjoyable. Really, it was like. Yeah, it was great. It was just really great. And when like Dying Light 2 came on, it started off with like a cinematic trailer kind of thing for it. And like it wasn't entirely clear as to what the actual game was.
Yeah.
At first. But then there was like this one point in the trailer where like a guy switches on a light and it's like
the ultraviolet
blue ultraviolet
light. It's just like
light.
Dying Light.
Yeah, immediately me and you just looked at each other and was like, yeah, that's Dying Light. It's got to be Dying Light 2. And I think like the first one is like, it's heavily like, oh, zombies. This one, it's like, yes, zombies are there, but it doesn't seem to be as major, like in your face. It's more like human problems to deal with and such, which I think is like a really interesting thing to do with like a sequel for this kind of game. Because I mean, let's face it, like the first game. The actual influence is like very heavily zombies and like special infected and whatnot. But like, if you actually think about it, the game title itself doesn't have like zombie in it, so you not necessarily have to stick to zombies,
which is interesting because
a totally different way.
Yeah, because with the first one, you could go out during the day and you were relatively safe, but there were zombies everywhere, and you just have to stay above them, stay out of their way, or you could pile through them. But at night, that's when shit got crazy and you're like, I want to get back home or back to the tower because holy shit, these things are chasing me and are not fucking stopping.
Yeah. It looks like that stole the situation of Dying Light 2.
That appears to be like, the nighttime appears to be the deadliest time with those things coming out, but like during the day there's far less zombies. There didn't appear to be many zombies. It was more
like a human
threat, kind of like factions, like one faction, like there were so many choices as well. That was an interesting thing as well. New choices, so many options,
like, speech options and such like that.
Speech options. Like you could go to a one faction and be like, yes, we will take this water and put it on the black market, or you could just kill them.
Yeah, and take it.
and then that would change how like what happens on the ground level
becomes like different and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
And I liked that. That sounds awesome. And if with, I was about to say fucking Dead Island there. Yeah, same team. But if Dying Light 2 still has the same co-op like options, that's going to be a whole load of fun. It doesn't, because they never pointed it out.
Yeah, I never even thought about that shit.
Because the co-op in the first game is what made it. It's one of like it. I don't really have a top 10 of games, but that's up there with just like really fun co-op games. You can just jump into it and just be like zombies.
Yeah, just like fuck about killing zombies for ages with your mates.
Yeah,
grappling about the place and just being stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, following that, the next thing I've got written down here is that what was it? It was kind of like a samurai-looking game. It was Shadows Die Twice. I remember when we were watching it, you said it looks like a Japanese like influenced Dark Souls. I totally looked up. It's made by the same people.
Yeah. Like
so I just thought I'd throw it in there. I'd never played Dark Souls. I'm not entirely interested about it, but I just thought it was quite interesting that you were watching and you went, it kind of looks like Japanese Dark Souls. And I looked up and I was like, it's totally Japanese Dark Souls.
Yeah, like, it's not my kind of game. Like I'm not a big fan of Dark Souls, but it looked cool for the people who do like Dark Souls. But the thing I've got
it's made by the
down,
same people. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah. But the next thing I've got written down, and I've actually got this written down in full caps because, this is what the game is. Forza Horizon 4 Scotland, because fuck off, they said Britain, but 90% of that fucking trailer was Scotland.
It looked like it. And I actually didn't write that down. I completely fucking blanked on that. Oh yeah.
They showed
fucking
Edinburgh.
Forza, was it Forza Horizon?
Forza Horizon 4.
Forza Horizon 4. Never played a Forza game in my life.
Forza.
But as soon as that came on, I was just like, where is that? This looks like Britain. Is that Britain? Is this Britain? And then immediately we just saw Edinburgh and we're like, that's fucking Scotland. And then like just everything we saw was Scotland.
And then like 90% of everything else they showed, like they showed a Loch Lomond, they showed like I was waiting for them to show the Falkirk Wheel, but they didn't. But they showed like so much, and they were like, "Oh, it's Britain." It's just like, no, the places you've just been driving around are north of the border. It's like,
yep. Yeah, there's a lot of Scotland in it. There may have been some England in it.
There may have been, but that too. But like everything they showed looked more like Northern England, Scotland. So yeah, that's why I've got written down as Forza Horizon 4 Scotland.
The next thing I've got written down, and I was not expecting this, and I'll just give preface it, as you say. I am a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, right? And this epic trailer came on, and it was like flashing here, flashing there, showing image, and then it started panning across Frieza's ship, and I didn't even click. James was the first to click when we were watching this, and he just went, Dragon Ball Z, and I went, oh shit, it is Dragon Ball Z. And then like it cuts and it showed Naruto, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And then it showed One Piece, and I'm like, wait, what? And then it showed Goku, and all fucking three of them are going against each other, and I just lost my fucking mind. And then it jumps up on the screen, Jump Force, the game, and I was just like, oh shit, this looks amazing. But I was like,
better.
Okay, this looks good. I'm like sold. I want to see more. And then like I made a noise that a 26-year-old male should never make when it cut and just showed Light Yagami, and I'm blanking on his name. Fuck. Ryuk from Death Note.
Just stood on top of a building, just staring at the distance, and it was just...
I lost my shit. I was like, oh fuck, I fucking love Death Note. Fuck yeah. But immediately it raised the question, how the fuck would Light Yagami and or Ryuk work in a fucking fighting game?
Because as you pointed out at the time, and it made me laugh, because you were like, what are they going to do? He's like, what's your name?
Yeah, it's Goku standing there going, like for like half an hour, and Light's just like, tell me your fucking name! Writing every possible name in the notebook, just like fucking die. Oh,
the other thing I've got noted here for the next thing that kind of like Crackdown 3. Like, I played the first one, wasn't the biggest fan of it back on the 360, and it just wasn't really that much fun. But like, it now appears to just be kind of like Terry Crews being Terry Crews. Yeah, that's what they appear to have changed it into, and it's been delayed. It's coming out February 2019. It was meant to be coming out later this year, like fall, but coming out in autumn. No, it's coming out February 2019. So that might.
I've never played a Crackdown game, but I do like me some Terry Crews.
Yeah.
So it might be the first Crackdown I play. But it genuinely just seems like, because I've never played the Crackdown games, it genuinely just looks like Terry Crews the video game.
Yeah.
Like, I knew he was going to be in it, but I thought he was just lending his voice.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that moment when you play the game for one of the weapons to not actually be a weapon, but for Terry Crews to just remove his top and his fucking pecs just to start bouncing up and down and just start attacking people with that. And like,
yeah, like I was saying, like, I knew he was going to be in it, right? Because he's been banging on about it for ages.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just going to be his voice, like him just voicing a character. Like, he
was that character voicing... bloody looks like him.
yeah. I heard he was supposed to be voicing Doomfist in Overwatch,
but he never did.
That never happened. And then I heard he was doing this thing in Crackdown. I was like, oh, is he just voicing a character in that instead? No, he genuinely it's Terry Crews.
Yeah,
like, that's all it is. It is Terry Crews being very Terry Crews while doing very un-Terry Crews like things in a video game, like blowing shit up.
Yeah.
You know, while cracking jokes and making goof.
The thing that was interesting about Crackdown 3, when it was originally announced, they were like, oh, it takes the power of 7 or however many Xbox Ones to be able to show off this destruction. I was just like, how is that going to work? Like, how are they going to have it? So, are they going to have like servers that are just like 10 or so Xbox Ones just connected together, just so one person playing single player can destroy the city? Because there wasn't multiplayer at that point. That was just them talking about the destruction. And it's like, is that why it's being delayed? Because they're like, shit, we can't feasibly do that.
Yeah, they're going to have to scale back. Undeliver on these promises.
Yeah. Oh, Peter Molyneux.
But speaking of destruction, the next thing I've got written down is Just Cause 4.
Yes, this is actually more a Square Enix thing, but it was shown during the Microsoft.
You say it's more of a Square Enix thing, right? But it was heavily shown off. Like, that's the first thing I'd ever heard about anything to do with a Just Cause 4, and it shows up at a Microsoft conference, even though Square Enix has got their own conference the next fucking day, right?
Yeah.
And then in the next fucking day, when Square Enix does their conference, they pretty much showed the same trailer and didn't really talk much more about it. They just said,
that was annoying.
Super cool. And that was it.
Yeah. Like, but Just Cause 4, though, with everything.
Looks crazy.
It looks crazy.
Love the Just Cause games. Take my money.
Yeah, that is pretty...
They don't... It's a game that does not take itself serious whatsoever, so it can get away with as much ridiculous action as it wants.
And it's now brought in weather.
Yep.
Tornadoes,
crazy,
hurricanes.
Insane weather.
That it just looks awesome.
Tornadoes, hurricanes... The things they said, it was tornadoes / hurricanes.
Yeah.
Sandstorms, blizzards, and lightning.
Yeah. And they just... Yeah, they had me at hello, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as like it panned back, like, it was
you see Rico just stood there, you know, just like
It showed a couple of snapshots, and then there was like a snapshot of him like walking. It's just
from behind,
back, and immediately I was like, "That's Just Cause 4. We're getting this. We're getting this. Doesn't matter. We're getting it. Moving on."
Yeah.
And speaking of moving on, Bethesda was next.
Oh no, you've missed out one big one that you. Okay, I say you've missed out one big one. You probably don't give a shit about it. But for me, I have been looking forward to it because I loved The Witcher. Preface that I loved The Witcher 3. I tried playing the first one and, God, that's a clunky game. Never played the second one, but I kind of got into it on the third one. But CD Projekt Red making Cyberpunk 2077. a full single player RPG game that
I've
classed as just being it's GTA in the future, but like there's going to be a lot more to it.
I never fucking heard of this game before in my life, and the trailer just made it look like it was, what's it called again? Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077.
To me, I just literally turned and I was just like, so what? It's future GTA, and you were like, no. It was like, no, it's got guys committing robberies, guys doing this, all this rubbish, blah 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 blah. And you were like, yeah, it's got all of them. It's got all of them. It's like, so it's GTA 2077.
And there is one final piece of the Microsoft bit that kind of showed up during their indie thing, which is Microsoft are basically doing their own skate game. It's not actually Microsoft doing it. They have like given money to the Session team. That is the game's name is Session, and it is
it's the spiritual successor of Skate. That's what it wants to be, right?
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that. I've played the demo on PC, and it's hard as balls.
I've not touched it. I'm kind of
hesitant.
Hesitant about touching it because I've got such fond memories of Skate, and I'm worried that I'm going to pick this up and it's just going to be shit. Like I just don't want that disappointment. You know, I was fairly disappointed with Skate 3. Like I didn't like it as much as a lot of other people seem to. And yeah, again, I just don't want a disappointment again, so I'll just stick with my Skate 2.
But yes, okay, so now we can move on.
Yes,
Bethesda.
I've not got much to talk about with Bethesda, and I'm trying to keep this. Okay, well, I'll try and rattle off what I've got. Okay. Straight off the top, Andrew WK's intro. I love Andrew WK, right? And I thought it was absolutely hilarious how much effort he was putting on the stage, and then it would do like these long, wide shots, and it just looked like 2 or 3 people in the crowd gave a fuck. Everyone else there was just like, show me Fallout, show me Fallout. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's something I've written down here as well. There was so much cringe. There was so much cringe. Like, so many people in the crowd were just looking around, bored out their tits, being like, who is this man? Why is he screaming at me? And I came here for video games.
Yeah, I thought it was fucking hilarious. Loved the song. And I loved that no one else in the crowd gave a fuck.
Yeah, but that was to do with Rage 2. And
yeah, I've got nothing to talk about with Rage 2. I have no idea what this game was. And when it showed up, I was just like, if you'd have told me like this is a Doom Zero, like a prequel to Doom, I would have been like, yeah, okay, sure, of course it is. That's all that all looked like to me. So you go ahead.
Then they announced Doom Eternal, basically just Doom 2, which I've not played. Doom 2016, I think it was 2016, whatever it was. I've not actually played that, but like I've seen so many kind of people playing it that it just looks like more hell, but on Earth, and it just looks awesome.
It's ridiculous. I've got it. I've not played much of it. I really want to play more. I just haven't. It's just one of those games. If I was to start playing, I wouldn't stop.
Yeah,
and I don't do much speculation about anything ever. I think it's a waste of effort. But pretty much going into Bethesda, like you asked me before, it's like, well, what do you expect from Bethesda? And I was like, Fallout, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was something to do with a Doom sequel. And then as soon as the Doom stuff started showing up, I was like, there's the Doom sequel. So I wasn't surprised, and I'm looking forward to it. But it was just like a CG thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Just a panning shot of like a destroyed city with demons everywhere, and then the iconic, similar to Terminator 2's kind of moment where you see a skull on the floor and then just a foot crushing it.
Yeah,
and it pans out, and it's the Doom guy. But moving on to
going to Earth.
Yes, he comes to Earth.
So yeah, but finally, yes, moving on.
Yes, moving on to Bethesda's big reveal was finally what Fallout 76 actually is, and it's an online multiplayer game which has no human character, like no NPCs who are human. So all humans will be players, but obviously there'll be ghouls that you can attack and shit like that.
weird crab monsters and whatnot.
Yeah, and
Giant
flying.
sloths, apparently.
Yeah, giant sloths and flying bug things that were huge bats. But there's no single player to it, so it's like that's going to be weird. The settlement building thing looked interesting with camp, whatever the acronym for camp was, CAMP. They seem to like doing that.
Yeah, the only thing I've really got to say about Bethesda's, and it's all about Fallout 76. It's literally in the showcase. He was saying like, "Oh, here's the trailer. Here's this trailer. Here's this trailer." And yes, every person that you meet is an actual person, and everyone was like, "Hey, woo!" But then he immediately said, "Now we don't want to like force this upon you. You can play," and this is a direct quote. He says, "You can play it solo."
Yeah.
But then later on in an interview, he said that it's always online. Yeah. So no matter, he said technically he was not telling a lie on stage. He said yes, you technically play it solo, but that doesn't mean you're playing it alone.
Yeah, and the issue there as well is they then also brought up the big thing, which was there are nuclear missile silos on the map, multiples of them, and you can find the codes, but you can only find like bits of the codes. So you have to make like trade with other people. Because it's an always online game, there are going to be people who are going to most predominantly head for that first, and they are going to just fuck people. They are just going to nuke the fuck out of them, and it's like that's going to cause griefing. There's going to be a shit ton of griefing because of that, and I don't think that's going to be fun. In the interview, though, he did say after launch that there would be modding allowed on private worlds.
Before we go into modding, right? Back to the griefing thing. Okay. In that same interview, he said, like they're obviously they're opening up a beta, which was break it before it come. There was another fucking acronym.
Another acronym was pulled out of their ass.
He's opening it up to beta testing because he says there's a lot of bugs and everything he wants to try and flush out and get sorted and stuff like that. But in the same interview, he said that they're trying to figure out a way to do the online game, like with building your base and such, so that there can be some drama caused by other players. He said that he wants to set it up so that it can drama can be caused by other players, a la like them attacking your base and whatnot. But he doesn't want to open it up to griefing, so he's going to have to do some balancing kind of thing. But then in the same fucking thing, he talks about having nuclear launch codes to fire fucking nuclear missiles anywhere on the map.
Yeah.
So how does that eliminate griefing? People are just going to be like, "Oh, there's a little base over there. Just fucking nuke them."
Yeah.
What?
Also, the beta stands for Break It Early Test Application.
Right. Yeah. And also, with the whole camp building thing, and I brought it up to you straight afterwards. He said something along the lines of, you'll never see like a server list. Like when you join the game, you'll just join the game and you're not linked to a single server. Your progression carries over on all servers.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So then I immediately questioned, what does that mean for the typical Fallout situations where it's like world changing? For example, in Fallout 4, there's a moment where you see the Prydwen, a giant airship, fly overhead and then it parks itself at the ruins of the airport. Prior to that, the Prydwen's not there. The airship isn't in the air. But afterwards, you can literally see this like almost anywhere in the map. There's this giant floating airship. So what happens if I join a server and I'm at the part in the story where something like that has happened, but then say you, James, join a server and you're not at that part? Does it show up for me? Does it not show up for you? Does it show up for both? Does it not show up for either? And the same question arises with base building. What happens if you build a base on one location and I build a base on the same location and we join each other's servers? What happens to our base?
Yeah, does it get merged together, or does it point out, sorry, you can't join this person because your base is in the exact same place?
Like, obviously these are things that are going to have to sort out in the beta.
Yeah.
But
it's just like there's things like
serious questions,
which makes me wonder as well, because it's an online game, because of what they're trying to do with it. There more than likely will not be these big set pieces. There won't be a Prydwen flying over the MIT building, although it's set in Washington. It's set in West Virginia, which
near Washington.
Because at one point in like one of the videos, it looked like the Capitol building could be seen. So that was kind of cool. But it's like it's set there. So like there probably won't be a moment where it's like, oh, there goes the Washington Monument that just got blown to smithereens. That probably won't happen. So they're not going to have giant set pieces like that, I don't think, because otherwise it would fuck with other people playing who have not got that far in the story, because there is still a storyline to it.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But like it begs the question, like, well, what kind of fucking story is it then?
Yeah, like, how do you create a story where it doesn't end up feeling like Elder Scrolls Online when it came out, which was, it felt like a single player story, but just everyone else was doing the same story as you.
Like, maybe that's what they are going for.
I hate that about MMOs. You know, it's like you are the chosen one. You are. It's like, really? What about the 70,000 other people around me? Are they the chosen one too? Yeah, but you are the chosen one.
Is that like the thing that you just feel like there's no real world consequences to the actions you do?
Yeah, like pretty much. It's like,
yeah.
I don't
like at that point, you might as well just make it a co-op game as opposed to a fully fledged out like MMO.
Yeah,
just say, you can play with 8 friends.
I think that would have been much better for Fallout 76 if it wasn't a okay. And they did point out he pointed out on stage. Yeah, he pointed out on stage saying that you wouldn't ever see loads of people. You're probably only going to see like a dozen or so, not 100. Not 1,000. This is not an amusement park, it's an apocalypse. And I found that amusing, but the fact is, you're still going to have other people around who will fuck your game up. And he was like, oh, but you can ignore them. No, how are you going to ignore a 12-year-old child screaming over his microphone? Like, you're not.
Or a guy launching mini nukes at you. Or major nukes at you because they're in the fucking game now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're not
there's
going
so
to
many
ignore
questions. Like, he literally, when he finished announcing it, he was just like, I know you've got loads of questions, so I'm going to answer them now. Which, yes, it's all humorous and blah, 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 but he answered a few questions, but it still leaves major fucking questions to be answered. Like, this is really such a change for the series.
Yes, it is.
It's so many questions. And we're just going to have to wait, I guess, until after the beta to find out if there's any answers to any of them.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Moving on from that, there was one bit that I loved after that, and it was the joke, because Bethesda seemed to know how to make a joke about themselves.
Oh yeah,
quite
they definitely were taking the piss out of themselves the entire fucking thing.
And it was, Skyrim is now on the Amazon Echo. It's not.
Oh, that was before. That was before Fallout.
It was, but like 76 was kind of a big deal. But like, the fact is, they made that joke about Skyrim being on the Amazon Echo and showed off a bit with Keegan-Michael Key, and it was hilarious. Like, that was the greatest fucking thing.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Like,
it was kind of like a pen and paper game, Skyrim, but on Amazon Echo.
Yeah, it was great. It's like, what does your character look like? It's like, he's tall and dark and handsome, that kind of thing. I don't think that was an actual bit, but there was an actual bit where it's like, the dragon has hit you and done 76 points of damage.
Eat all the cheese. Eat all the cheese.
Yeah, it's like, do I have any health potions? No. What? How many cheese wheels do I have? 100 and something. Eat all the cheese. And his wife walks in and is like, you know what the doctor has said about dairy? Eat all the cheese. It was great. That was hilarious. And I think Bethesda really did kind of like knock it out of the ballpark for being actually funny.
They were very light-hearted and was able to poke fun at themselves. They weren't afraid.
No.
But speaking of light-hearted, I'm going to miss Square Enix real quick.
Yeah, there was nothing really Square. Yeah, there was nothing.
Okay, here's Square Enix in a nutshell, right? It showed Just Cause, already seen it, and then it showed a game called The Quiet Man, and it looks like your protagonist is deaf. I'm intrigued, but I need to see more. Yeah, there's Square Enix.
Oh wait, and you did miss out the big part of that, which is the new Tomb Raider, which they started off with, and it's just, I've not played Tomb Raider, the most recent reboot of Tomb Raider or its sequel, so to me this one is just
I'm just talking about the ones that I was interested in. So when Tomb Raider, I played the first new Tomb Raider, didn't play the second one, didn't even finish the first one. It was fun, but I'm not going to care about the third one if I'm not even finished the first one yet.
Exactly.
So I just moved past it.
So we moved on.
So Ubisoft.
Yeah, okay. I just want to start with something big here. Two maybe big things. no Aisha Tyler this time round.
Yeah, no Aisha Tyler.
Like she was nowhere to be seen. Yeah, it's like she kind of brought something interesting to it. But no her. But getting to the thing that we both want to talk about for Ubisoft.
No. Before we get to that, I just want, before we talk about her. Yes, her.
Yes, her.
Just Dance. Now I've written this down, right, just because it literally started off with like a 5-minute, 10-minute routine of like a guy in a stuffed bear outfit dancing.
Yeah, he was in a panda costume.
It showed practically nothing to do with actual gameplay, right? And it just had a marching band. It was a marching band and people dancing, right?
Well, the one bit about the marching band that I absolutely loved was there was some poor bugger whose hat was far too big for him and was covering most of his face. All you could see was his mouth.
Well, the only thing I remember about it is I'm still standing after all this time. They just started like playing that. And I'm not a Just Dance fan. I'm not a dancing fan. I thought the dancing bear was gimmicky and stupid and actually kind of annoying. But god damn, was the music great.
Yeah.
So that's what opened it up, and I was just like, okay.
Boom. And it's like, okay.
This is definitely a Ubisoft panel.
Yeah. But getting into the big thing, because
straight away after that, we had the one game that like I knew was coming. Because
we knew it was
they've
coming.
been talking about it for how long? How long have they been fucking talking about it? 10 years?
Longer.
More? Less?
Oh,
who fucking knows?
Yeah.
But Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Good and Evil 2.
Fucking finally, we got more stuff about it.
And finally,
we saw her.
But like as soon as it started like playing, it was like, holy shit, something awesome, and this looks awesome. And then there was a pig in the kitchen, and they were like, oh, da, da. And I was like, holy shit, it's Paige. And Brian was like, no, that's not Paige. I was like, that's motherfucking Paige. And then the character's just like, Paige, I think we could use your. Well, actually, it was a Scottish guy. It was meant to be a Scottish guy. It's like, could we use your.
Definitely a Scottish guy.
Yeah, it's like, Paige, I'm sure we could use your curry to power the engines. And it's like, told you it was motherfucking Paige. And then right at the end of that trailer, motherfucking Jade.
Yes, Jade. As the bad
guy. It appears she's some sort of pirate.
Well, they're all pirates.
Well, yes, but she's of a different faction of pirates.
Is she?
Who knows? Because
it was very
her ship, her big giant ship, clamped onto the fucking other one, and just like boom, and blew a lot of people out into space.
Yeah, she killed a lot of people.
She did.
And she's supposed to be our protagonist.
I know. Well, protagonist of the original game, the first one, and this is a prequel, but
it's a prequel named number 2.
Yeah,
annoying. I want the continuation. But I'm still looking forward to it. However, I will say, until it is officially out, I will be continuously worried about it sucking.
Yes. A few other things I just want to throw about Ubisoft. Arse Creed Odyssey doesn't look like an Arse Creed game.
Yes, I hate the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
Watching the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like gameplay and trailer and stuff, it looked nothing like an Assassin's Creed game, and I was actually slightly intrigued. I'm going to keep my eye on it. I might actually play this one if it continues to intrigue me. Yeah,
because the whole setting, the Greek and like Spartan kind of like setting was actually really interesting, and I was like, oh, I wonder if it will go to Crete. And you were like, well, what? Like, why?
I said, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you could. And then at the end, it was just like, great big fucking Minotaur.
I guess so then.
So it's like,
but also in Ubisoft, they had the Trials. Now,
yes, that Finnish dude was fucking hilarious.
Yes. Like literally, I've got for my notes, I've got Trials, fun show, fun game. So
that Finnish guy, like, he's the lead developer, I think, of the company that make Trials, Red Links, and like he came out on a motorbike, jumped up on stage, and then tripped over and destroyed a podium with a screen on it.
Yeah,
so it's like, yep, that's Trials.
That's Trials,
and that sounds awesome. Like, it looks fun. I liked some of the previous Trials. This looks even more fun.
And then
Ubisoft then tried showing off. They showed a bit of it off last year, But now they showed off more, which was Skull and Bones, like their take on.
I didn't even write this down. I was so unimpressed.
Yeah, I was not impressed by this. And my notes for this is Skull and Bones looked poop, and then in brackets deck, because a poop deck on a ship. Just I wanted to throw that one out there. Because it did.
You need to go set yourself in a corner right now.
Yeah, I shall. I shall do it after this recording, because bad joke, but also bad looking game. Like, it was.
Yeah.
They were trying to do it realistic looking, but like crap. Like, boats have health bars. No thanks.
Yeah, it just looked arcadey, but not arcadey.
And the final piece that I was looking forward to with Ubisoft was The Division 2. Also,
I've got that as well.
Washington,
Division
DC.
2 written down right here as well.
Yeah. I think that was it for Ubisoft.
Well,
there was a few other things, but we'll just kind of gloss past those.
Glossing past because time.
And
We don't want to speak forever because we probably could.
Yeah.
Following that, we had the PC showcase.
For us, like, the PC is a bigger thing, so it's like this. I was more interested in, and there was then a lot of things that I was not interested in.
Yeah, like I kind of got bored of this showcase. It was just like an hour, like 2 hours long almost, of nothing. I've got three things written down here, right? I've got Man-Eater, aka Depth 2, aka GTA Shark Edition, aka Digi-Shark versus Cybercroc. Sure, why not?
Yeah, exactly. It just looked fun. It looked like the kind of game that you could just jump into and be like, hey, I'm a shark. I want to eat the fuck out of everyone. You ever wanted to be Jaws? Go ahead.
And then I've got 2 Point Hospital. Not really my type of game. But I remember playing Theme Hospital fondly as a child.
Yeah.
And from what I can remember, it looks like they've captured the spirit of it really, really well. And they are like sort of I even said it on the stage. It's a spiritual successor to Theme Hospital.
Yeah.
So I think they got it.
Yeah, I think they really nailed the whole thing. The one thing that they kept trying to show off at the PC Gaming Showcase, though, and I've written it down here as fuck all of the battle royales with cheese, because fuck them. Like, there was so many. I think they actually showed three, but it still felt like far too fucking many.
Yes. I've got it written down here as well. They showed two other battle royale games than the game I'm about to talk about. Right now, I didn't realize that I'm okay. Battle royale is getting out of hand. Everybody and their fucking mum is making a battle royale game. Chill the fuck out and realize that some people are just going to make it better than you. Yeah. However, saying that, there is a game I had no idea I wanted until I realized, until it was there, right in front of me, and that is Rapture Rejects.
Oh yeah.
Battle Royale game made by the same people who do Cyanide and Happiness.
That was hilarious. Like, the trailer for that was fucking great.
Amazing.
I love that. He's like, please God, I'm your like most devoted, and he's got his roommate in the background who's just like shit faced.
Yeah, like literally, if you haven't seen it, look up Rapture Rejects trailer.
God damn.
Do it now. And if you have never heard of Cyanide and Happiness, sort your life.
Look them up, because
that shit is hilarious. Following on for PC Showcase.
But yes, moving on from the PC Gaming Showcase, we came on to Sony.
Sony was ultimately fucking disappointing.
There was a lot of disappointment there.
I'm not even talking about The Last of Us 2.
Oh, no.
Because it was a super pre-rendered gameplay, quote-unquote gameplay.
I have Last of Us 1, and it's fantastic. I absolutely adore it. I love what Naughty Dog have done. And I loved Naughty Dog's other games, Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and 4, and recently playing through The Lost Legacy. Uncharted Lost Legacy. I had to look that up there. But, like, they're really fun. And that was the big thing. And then after that, it got weird. They showed off Last of Us, but they had to do it in a tent made to look like the church in the fucking thingy. But before they showed anything, they got what looked like a homeless man playing a fucking banjo.
Yeah.
He couldn't play it well at all. Like, he kept failing. Like, it sounded like it, at least. They then had an interlude whilst every motherfucker had to be moved to the main stage.
Yeah, that was like 10 minutes of three guys talking, just trying to kill time.
Yeah.
That was it. And it was kind of mind-numbingly boring.
Yeah. And then as soon as they got to the stage, we were like, oh, what's going to be now? And it was I've got it written down as not Asian dude wearing Asian attire playing Asian instrument while slightly trying to beatbox with the motherfucker.
Yeah, the was it windpipe or some shit.
I don't know what it was.
Going into that, that was for Ghost of Tsushima.
Tsushima, yeah. And to me, sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking here, but that reminded me of The Witcher 3 in its visuals. It looked cool.
Yeah, that's what I've got written here. Essentially, well, nothing about Witcher. I've just got written. Not entirely sure like what the whole game kind of is like story. Well, the story is about the Mongol invasion and blah blah blah. But like, I'm not really sure how like it's going to play overall. But it looks visually stunning.
Oh yeah, it does.
So
it really does. And then something that you and I both like. I'm not a big fan of this game franchise.
Before we jump into it, like going into what it was, I just remember when we were watching it, it was this really, really long drawn out trailer, and I remember we were both watching and we were just like, "What the hell is this? Like, what is this
There's
game?"
a
It's just, like,
PlayStation 1
banging, and that was what it was. As soon as we saw the PlayStation 1, we were just like, "Okay, now we really need to figure out what this is. What is it? What is it? What is it?" And just before the review, I just went, "Resident Evil 2 remake." And then as soon as I said that, what happened? The camera spins round and there's Leon S. Kennedy.
Yep. Although, to be honest, you say remake, it appears it's more like a reimagining of it as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a remaster or a remake. Yeah. Because in the trailer that they showed afterwards, that seemed to have some more gameplay-ish elements to it, there seemed to be a third-person camera.
Yeah.
Which the actual game did not have.
Yeah. And so that... I'm not a big Resi fan, but it looked interesting to me. Like I remember fondly being scared shitless of when my cousins played Resident Evil 1, 2, and Nemesis, because they weren't my thing. I'm not a scary game fan, but this looked cool. Also, Sony really kind of like had a weird showcase because they had the guy with the banjo, they had the guy with the windpipe thing, but in between each showing of a game, they just had these weird animated bits, like a banana playing a guitar, a couple of plants screaming their fucking head off, and then a guy playing a piano.
It was very fucking strange.
Yeah, it was like I don't understand any of what was going on between those sections. I've then also got written down here Spider-Mech and the Sinister Not 6.
Well, I've got, before that, Death Stranding.
I don't know what that is. I still have no idea.
My notes literally read, "I still have no idea what the fuck this is, or what to think, or what to feel, but I know if I ever do play it, I will be playing it intoxicated. It can only make the experience better."
Yeah.
Because it's just fucking weird.
It didn't even look like it showed gameplay, but it did in a way. But that's my only response. It's just what are we doing? What are we watching?
It's too weird for me to gauge.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah, it was just a lot of strangeness. Yeah. But it's Hideo Kojima, so that's kind of an expected thing.
But then, like what you said, after that we've got Spider-Man, or as I'm calling it, Spider-Man Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. I was gonna go into that because like there were bits of it that looked interesting, and then other bits that were just like, we're trying to steal from other games because we want to be just like it. That other game being the Arkham series.
The combat system,
the combat mechanics is so much like it. And then like they like moments where it was like, oh, there's Electro, oh, there's Scorpion, and there's fucking Rhino, and then Negative Man, and like they just kept like popping these guys out, and it was like, okay, we're gonna I guess it's the Sinister Six, or at least this was your response, because for me, I'm not a massive like comic book fan. I know of these characters, but to me it's like I was wanting to see the Kingpin, to be honest. Like
Hey, you never know, he may be the one in charge of it all.
It may be. Like, he is the big bad boss of... Who knows? But it just didn't really fully capture my imagination or attention. It was just like, eh.
Yeah, I still think fondly back to Spider-Man the Movie 2 video game. Like, it's weird to think that a video game based off of a movie was actually good, let alone the best iteration of that character. Although arguably you could then say Spider-Man Ultimate. That was really good as well.
What was the ones where you could play as different Spider-Men throughout different time period type things? It was like Shattered Dimensions. Shattered Dimensions. That's the one.
Never finished that. That actually was fun. But I like the more free roaming aspect.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And then to finish it all up, we had Nintendo, and I didn't see much of that. It just
Nintendo is a company that has been just shattering me every single fucking year in like the worst possible way. Yeah. Like not a single thing they ever showcase makes me go, wow, I actually might finally get another Nintendo console. Yeah, I haven't had a Nintendo console since the N64. Like I'm just not interested in anything they've got going.
Like I missed most of the Nintendo showcase because I was actually heading back from Brian's, and so when I tuned into it, I was like, "What is this? Smash Bros, Smash Bros, some more Smash Bros. Oh hey, look, we're learning about new characters for Smash Bros." And I was just like,
which is like it's great if you like Smash Bros,
which neither of us do.
Well, I'm not against it, but I'm not like the biggest Smash Bros fan, just losing my shit, being like, oh my god, every character that's ever been in the Smash Bros ever is coming back. Really couldn't care.
Yeah, it was like, it was not my kind of cup of tea, really.
The only other thing that I can point out is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Now, they showed this off prior to E3, like a week or so before E3, which is like, what's the point? Leave it for E3, you know? Yeah. It's essentially a remake of Pokemon Yellow, but for the Nintendo Wii, but integrated with Pokemon Go.
Don't you mean Switch?
Yeah, sorry, the Switch, not the Wii. That's how little I fucking follow Nintendo. Yeah, it's for the Wii. Fuck, it's for the Switch. It's fucking late. It's 3 a.m. when we're recording this. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh god, no, Kingdom Hearts, go away. No.
Oh yeah. Oh, no. Sorry, no. But yeah, it's a remake of Yellow on the Switch. However, there's no wild Pokemon battling. You battle other trainers. You play co-op to catch the same Pokemon, and you can then trade. Well, not even trade. You just share between your Pokemon Go account and your Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. And I've also heard the rumor that your Let's Go Pikachu, like when you get the Pikachu version, your starter Pokemon is Pikachu, and when you get the Eevee version, your starter Pokemon is Eevee. They never evolve. Like ever, you can't evolve them. So, like, what's the point?
Fuck knows.
So it kind of, to me, looks like a half-completed remake of the original Pokemon games, or Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah.
Like, visually nice, but I honestly couldn't give a fuck. Yeah. But they're apparently bringing out a Pokemon game next year, or later this year, that is actually a main series title for the Pokemon games, and it's going to be on Switch. So until then, I don't think I really care.
Yeah. So yeah, basically that was E3 for us. Like we kind of just we watched through it, just kind of like, because every year we like to have an E3 party and kind of go through all the games. Like, holy shit, that thing's awesome, and holy shit, that was bad.
Yeah.
This year was just a whole lot of meh.
Yeah, it just seemed empty. There's just nothing. Like, also, the question that always comes up after E3 is, so who won E3? And you pick like the obvious bit. It might even be the best games or the best hardware, whatever the show off. It's just the best live show, whatever they're showing off. Like the thing that just was fun or whatever. And there just wasn't anything this year.
Yeah, I think if anything, Bethesda kind of got it for the jokes and shit. Like, I liked the fact that they could make fun of themselves, and that actually made it enjoyable to watch. And that was it, really.
Yeah, so and even then, that's kind of bit. Like you're the least worst.
Yeah, exactly.
Not you're the best. You know, they're so meh.
But yeah, so that has been our E3 kind of roundup, if you will. But moving on to something, just a final little piece for our
a little bit of information to throw
about
out.
Us, about our kind of content that we do, which is that due to technical difficulties, those technical difficulties being my PC and trying to edit, we're actually cutting our videos back to one a week for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, we'll update our about section on our page, but we are cutting back to one video a week for the foreseeable future due to not being able to keep up with the work demands.
Yeah, but usually the way we'd work is that I would edit a video and Brian would edit a video, and like when we're having breaks from editing, we would record something.
So the next person had something to work on, you know. Just, it was like a juggling. Like, well, one person was working, the next person was sorting out some shit, and then vice versa. So we could easily get out like one video this day, one video the next, and so on and so forth.
For the past month or so,
almost
almost two, Brian has been doing all of the editing.
Yeah, you may have seen a drastic lack of like online kind of games, and it's because not only can we hardly edit, but we can rarely play online games for an extended period of time.
Yeah, due to my PC is kind of like slowly in the midst of dying. So I'm going to be getting that sorted as soon as I can. But until then, we're going to be doing one video a week, which will allow our quality of content to hopefully go back up because we'll have more time to work on each video.
I'm just worried that I'll end up like, okay, you might see it for the past two videos, the Rising Storm and the
GoldenEye Source.
GoldenEye one. The GoldenEye Source one came out late because I was struggling to get it finished on time, you know, backed up with other work. And then with the Rising Storm one, I felt like when it came out, the audio quality wasn't that great. And instead of letting the work continue to deteriorate, we are taking steps to improve what's going to finish off this month, and then by the beginning of next month, it's straight to one video a week until we can, you know, get back up
into
and running.
The swing of things.
Anyway, that was our E3 sort of rundown, sort of thoughts, feelings, and ultimate disappointment, which kind of sucks. But oh well. And a little update at the end. So, yeah, next year. There's always next year.
Yeah, maybe next year we'll actually get to see more of these pre-rendered shit. No,
no, next year I'm expecting a new generation.
Yeah, that was okay. Just as a little final piece, Microsoft was buying up so many companies.
And not only that, but Bethesda also said, here's a sneak peek of a next-gen title.
Yeah.
So I think there's another generation coming next year.
I don't think it's going to be next year. I think it's going to be at least 2 years away. But like it's
winter next year.
I don't think it's
just in time for Christmas.
We will find out. But until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you.
You need to stop stealing people's shit. We don't do outros. Bye.